pregnant?
I can't pretend to know anything about that. I don't think I want to.
According to Star, she is. Now, it's not quite National Enquirer level yet.
Okay.
James David.
Kenny gets the Star at his house.
Well,
like he has a subscription.
If I get any breaking news, you will be the first one that I contact.
Right there, Blue,
Right
write
here.
that down. Write that down, producer Blue.
We got you.
We got more coming up, including your questions and social media for James David Carter. Here is a piece of James last week. Is that what we call you, by the way?
Yeah, it's usually James David, or a lot of people call me JDC. My initials.
I was going to ask if JDC would be okay.
I'm not picky.
Okay. Did Nobody Knows Kevin Sharp last week? And here is Blake Shelton's reaction. Turns out the two of you, you opened for me, Cowboys.
I opened for him. I believe it was back in, it had to be 02 or 03. But yeah, I think he was.
He still had that long, nasty looking mullet.
Yeah, and I can show you all a picture. I had snapped a picture with him, but it was on his first record. I think Old Red just came out that time period, and yeah, it was great. I remember him being really great live. He's just a great singer.
Yeah, he is.
I have a question I want to ask you, in addition to your questions from social media, about the editing of the show and last week. And we'll do that coming up as we continue our visit from The Voice and living in, what part of Atlanta do you live in?
I live up in Woodstock.
Okay, from Cherokee County, James David Carter, JDC, is riding shotgun with you on the ride to work. Atlanta's #1 for country.
Kicks 1015.
Well,
You know that
Buckboard, yeah. I played like one night. I walked in there. I was probably 18. We were on our way. Me and my dad were on our way to Nashville, and we wanted to check it out. And it was like an open mic night or whatever. And I got up there and sang one song. And the owner,
John
Galicia.
Oh,
Yeah,
love John.
he was in overalls and like this white T-shirt underneath that had stains on it, and he's like, "Who the heck are you?" I'm like, "Well, who the heck are you, sir?" Like I had no idea who this guy was. Just, he's real,
He's a big
yeah,
burly
he's a
man.
big burly man. Yeah, and but he was really, really, really made some really sweet comments and whatever, and in the sweetest way that John Galicia could.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, so just Buckboard, man.
Such a historic place, so much so, and I know that you went to Garth over the weekend, but last weekend, on opening night, I was there for Friday and the 6:30 show, Garth actually referenced from the stage his Buckboard show.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Well, even as the Garth song, the old stuff, he represents Buckboard. I don't know if you remember that song from the Fresh Horses album. I'm a huge Garth fan.
You're going deep. No, we'll have to look for that.
Yeah, it's the old stuff. I think it's the first track on the Fresh Horses record.
And he mentions the Buckboard.
Yeah, Buckboard, Bear Creek Cowboys, and the Grizzly Rose is the line.
Okay, because they're all clubs.
Yeah, he was just listing off all the places that they played before they blew up. So.
Watching last week, visiting with James David Carter, JDC, Team Blake now on season 7, I think we're
Yes,
now?
season
Perfect
7. Yeah.
Of The Voice.
Lucky 7.
That's right.
I'm curious about your performance last week and the editing, because it appeared while watching that you waited quite some time until you made your decision. Because you got to remember, when watching James David perform last week, all 4 judges hit the button and spun around. All 4 judges gave you a standing ovation.
Sure.
It appeared that you waited a while until you chose Blake. Obvious, or I would think it would be an obvious choice.
Sure.
Was that editing? How long did you actually wait until you said Team Blake, or I choose Blake as my coach or my team?
In that moment, honestly, like going into it, I for sure gut feeling I wanted to work with Blake. If he turned around, like I kind of had it set in my head. I feel like the editing, they made it seem like I was wavering between Blake or Adam. I was actually wavering more so between Blake and Pharrell. Like I'm also heavily influenced by a lot of R&B music from growing up. Definitely a country artist, but I've got a lot of hints of, listening to like Boyz II Men and Brian McKnight and guys like that. And James Taylor, like to me, James Taylor is really soulful singer.
Didn't one of those guys do a pop version of Nobody Knows?
I think Tony Rich Project was the one that did that back in the 90s.
Well, and Mark Wills covered Brian McKnight.
And Mark's
back at one.
Back at one.
Yeah. So for me, and Pharrell's a producer, and they edit a lot of the commentary out, but he just had this way about him that like stared straight to your soul and just going, wow, like this could be, part of my thinking was, well, maybe it'd be cool to work with someone that looked at country music from a different angle, At the end of it, it's like, for the purposes of the show, song choice is very, very important. And I definitely wanted that commonality with Blake, him knowing,
Right.
you know, old school country music, current country music, and stuff that he felt, you know, would connect with people.
Pharrell
with
didn't
America.
know who Loretta Lynn was.
Yeah, and that's a problem.
Yeah, I was like,
Let's be honest.
wow.
Come on.
Because he was
Are
like,
you for real?
I don't
Seriously?
know that song. And I was like, oh my God, are
Well,
you kidding me?
And didn't you have in the dish last week that Gwen Stefani forgot
She
Blake's
forgot
name?
Blake's name.
Yeah, she forgot my name one time too.
Yeah,
so
that's
I don't
okay.
hold it.
Nobody knows Kevin Sharp, the song that you performed last week on The Voice and got you to Team Blake. Is that a choice that you made, or are you given a list of songs to choose from?
The blind audition round, they actually give you that song, but they kind of take into account. You know, at the beginning of the process, they're asking your, you know, what stylistically, you know, where do you lean, what do you like, what are you influenced by, and you know, of course, my answer is a lot of, you know, I loved the, you know, early '90s country. You know, country in the '90s to me was the, you know, the best season of country music in my opinion. And then a lot of the R&B influences. So I actually used to play this song a lot when I, you know, had the house music Cowboy. So I was definitely familiar with it. You know, I was a big Kevin Sharp fan too back in the day. And it was a song I feel like it was in my wheelhouse. I was able to take and make my own. You know?
And you did, and you
I
did
hope-
just that.
Yeah, and I hope it came across like that.
No, I
Oh, it
did.
did.
I mean, just the
Without a
runs
doubt.
and the yeah. No, you did a phenomenal job with it. Visiting with James David Carter. Visiting with James David Carter is why we take, by the way. Visiting with James David Carter, JDC, from the new season of The Voice on Team Blake coming up. Curious, what would you say to a viewer that you think would be the most shocking thing that they don't know about the show? What behind the scenes? We'll get your answer coming up. Think about it. But what would we as viewers find most shocking
Oh my gosh, really?
Okay.
from behind the scenes of The Voice? More with JDC, James David Carter, coming up with Cadillac in Dallas,
Fix 1015.
selling cars. Did I not tell you that?
What?
Yeah, it's off. We're not taping right now. Yes, I saw him when I traded trucks 2 weeks ago. He was up there. I couldn't talk to him because he was working a deal. He was actually selling a car.
I can see him being good at that.
Yeah.
Dwight came out to a show last year. It was last November. It was around Thanksgiving. I hadn't seen him in a while. He came out, and yeah, it's good to see him.
Let's we'll start. We'll circle back around to the question, but let's get your social stuff out on the air. The Voice is underway. Season 7 on tonight. It was on last night at 8, again tonight at 8 o'clock as the blind auditions continue. Visiting with James David Carter. You live in Woodstock, but you were down in Florida?
I do, yeah. I'm originally was born in Jacksonville, Florida, and then we moved up to Roswell when I was in 4th grade, and then moved to Orlando, Florida, right before my senior in high school, and moved back 3 years later. So Georgia's home. You know, I split time between here in Atlanta and Nashville. All the time up there co-writing, doing the music business world. You know, so.
Last week, this is the exchange between JDC and his now boss or dad,
My new dad.
as you called him, Blake Shelton. We'll insert the clip and post. Why don't you ask a question? I'll do social on the back. Why don't you ask a
Okay.
question about what would surprise us most?
Okay. So, what would surprise, especially me as a viewer of The Voice and everyone listening, what is that one thing that none of us would have any idea that's going on or that goes on when you guys are out there or maybe even before the show?
Well, they keep you sequestered, so you don't really have the freedom to like leave the hotel, or you know, you don't have any freedom while you're out there.
Really?
And you have a roommate in the hotel, so that was a little awkward because you
Like
know,
somebody you don't know?
you don't know them from Adam. No, you don't know them from Adam Levine. No, but yeah, so that's a little awkward.
Is it another contestant on the show?
Yeah, it's another contestant,
Oh,
but
okay.
it feels a lot like, you know, imagine going away to college and you
Yeah.
get some random roommate.
Random person.
And you're having to like figure out how to live with it. It's really odd, and having to mentally get in the space to where you
Right.
perform and you know all that stuff. So
How long did you live? How long were you out there during the blind? Give us a timeline for the show.
sure. Well, they filmed the blind auditions back in June.
Okay.
I went out there at the end of May, and I got home probably I think it was June 20-something. So I was out there probably about a month. You know, you're filming all the stuff that you see before the audition. You know, all the walk-ups,
Right.
and the interviews, and all that stuff is, that's filmed ahead of time. So they call that filming reality. So basically, you do a lot of that, and they cut a lot of it. Like the one when they edit it, it's just like, man, I spent like 8 hours doing that walk up, and like they use like 5 seconds of it.
Yes, that TV stuff will wear you out.
Yeah, it's long hours.
Well, yeah.
It's craziness.
So how long are you home now before you have to go back out? When do the live shows fire up?
Well, I'm not.
I'm
know
finally
this guy?
I'm pregnant right here.
Okay.
Here's the star right here.
I don't know if I trust Star though. If it was
Well, again, it's
no
not easy.
woman is going to lose all that weight and look as good as she does right now and then get pregnant.
Yeah, she got lean.
Yeah, she is mean and lean and.
I agree with you,
Still
James
feisty,
David. This is not the Enquirer. You got to remember that the National Enquirer is like the high watermark when it comes to gossip. That's
Sure.
you rely on the National Enquirer. The Star's not quite as
No, it's
reliable.
not.
National Enquirer, by the way, Dallas, and you give me hell about this. You got to remember that they nearly won a Pulitzer Prize
Okay, but
for
they
breaking the John Edwards story.
They
Okay,
did.
all right.
I nearly won the
With that-
lottery last week.
With
right?
that lady hiding in the
Stop
stairwell.
over here.
Okay.
He is the gossip king. Right? You think? Listen, they say that women gossip. This one over here. Oh my gosh.
So, where are you staying while you're in town? Are you at home? You with the parents? Because
Yeah,
they
I'm
were out there with you. I know they were during part of the tape portion last week.
Yeah. I'm on Woodstock. So I lived in Buckhead for a little while, and then just kind of got tired of the traffic and the concrete.
Are you single?
He's not allowed to talk about that.
Can't talk
Yeah,
about
we're
that
just-
either.
We're keeping all that off limits.
Wow.
Really? Because I think Caitlin, to be
Yeah,
honest.
because our social media
I
director
think
Caitlin and I have been
Caitlin,
going.
who's
Yes.
filming right now, I think is cute her antenna. All right. So, what else? You got anything?
Okay.
We need to assign a question to
Anne.
Ann from Cartersville. Blue, what do you think? Or what do you have an answer for, James David?
Yeah, what can you tell us?
Um,
Yeah, the seat spinning thing.
But what now?
The seat spinning.
Oh, okay. Aaron from Cartersville on the Kicks Facebook page, James David Carter, wants to know about the moment that who spun around first? It was Adam, wasn't it?
Adam. It was.
And then all four eventually spun around. So, Ann, let's go back for Ann in Cartersville. Let's go back to that moment when just bam, 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 all four of them spin around. Where are you in your head? Does it mess you up? Does it trip you up?
No, honestly, I didn't. On TV, you hear like the that sound.
Yes.
And when you're in live, you don't hear that. So it's post edit that they put that in. So all I remember is I was looking left, and I got through the first. There's two sections of the first verse of that song. I got through the first section of that, and then I turned, looked center, and they're all four staring at me. So I didn't see it. Like I saw.
Oh wow, that's
The
good.
first time I
then.
saw it was when they played it back for us, and I was like, oh cool. I didn't realize how early they turned. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah, Adam was first. I think it was kind of like all in succession.
It was.
Yeah.
I've watched it several times,
Yeah.
and it was, and then to get the standing ovation from
Yeah.
all four judges at the end.
That's surreal, man. I respect all four of them for different reasons. I enjoy each of their contributions to culture and music culture. A lot of things kind of culminated for me in that moment. It's been like 13, 14 years, a lot of hard work. That there's some pretty cool affirmation that happened. I've been in and out of a few development deals with a few labels in Nashville and all that stuff. I feel like I've been really close, and it's just never, all the things have never just completely lined up. And I don't pretend to know what's going to happen with all this, but it's just a really cool, another moment of affirmation for me along the way to keep just plugging away and keep doing what I'm doing.
That's all you can do. And I got to tell you, we have written you down as
Well, I've written you down as the winner.
the winner. Well, we both, yeah, absolutely.
We'll see. I'm a pretty competitive person. I do like.
We want your cell phone, so after you win, we want to call you the next morning.
Let's do it.
Okay.
We'll do it.
Are you sizing up the competition? Did you watch last night? Will you watch tonight?
Yeah, I watched. I mainly watched because you become friends with everybody. You want to see how everyone did. It is a competition, but for me, like my mindset isn't really that. Oh, I'm gonna, I need to beat these people down or whatever. Like, I kind of take the mentality of, back when I played sports, coaches were always telling me like, you just need to worry about your job and executing your job, and the rest will take care of itself. Like, don't necessarily worry about, whatever everybody else is doing. I kind of had that mindset. Like, I just, trust the ability that God's given me, and really not worry about the rest. So.
Good for you.
Yep.
on Twitter at JDC Music. And I noticed on your profile you actually have a Bible verse.
I do.
And
can you recite it?
Well, I have it somewhere.
It's Ephesians something.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can't recite it off the top of my head. But yeah.
Hang on, I printed it. Hang on. I thought it was a great one. Hang on. Also from your Twitter profile, songwriter, sports lover can throw a football 60 yards.
Yeah. I can still wing it. We still get out there. Me and my buddies still get out there and run routes and throw it.
Did you play in school?
Yeah, I played. I didn't play quarterback. I played linebacker and D-line and tight end.
Okay, why weren't you the quarterback if you could throw the ball 60 yards?
Well, when you play behind the coach's son, sometimes there's some politics.
But I bet he couldn't throw the ball 60 yards.
No.
Holy.
You know what I'm talking about?
I have kids that are
It's tough.
in ball right now, and yeah, that's
life isn't always fair.
60
Well-
yards, that's over half the field. That's incredible.
also from your profile. I also enjoy cake a lot.
A lot. Cake and donuts.
Like birthday cake?
Just
Or
yeah,
just
any
cake?
kind of cake.
Because I love birthday and wedding cake.
Yeah, that's.
That's my
That's
favorite.
why I have to constantly go to cardio.
Yeah,
spin
exactly.
classes.
Hey, it's Dallas, and this is your winner for season 7, The Voice. I'm just going to go ahead and lay
JDC.
that out there. JDC, James David Carter. He's hanging out with Caddy. Caddy, say hey!
Hello!
I wouldn't let Caddy in the video because, when there's a tall, handsome man in the studio, we don't need him over here.
Nah, we don't need him.
Just leave him over there on his side. Now, you can win yourself a $1,000 gift card if you can beat Caddy. You're going to get a chance at that. So we got some cool stuff going on. But we got this guy right here, season 7 of The Voice. We're so excited for you. An Atlanta boy. Used to play at Cowboys.
Did.
I mean, gosh, just got it going on. So, James David Carter, make sure when it comes time to vote, this is your man right here. Right here. Right here.
And Daddy's album in stores today.
Yes, Daddy's album, Blake Shelton, Bringing Back the Sunshine.
Congrats, Dad.
Y'all have a good day. Thanks for listening.
See ya.